Hello everybody. Today we're going to be going through some tips for Restaurant Tycoon 3 in Roblox. The first tip I would say is get a door greeter. So if you go over into your staff, you click your staff person, you press edit, you go to settings, greet customers. Okay, so that's all you want them to do. Because soon as the customers come in, she'll be already assigning them to a table, and ta-da, you'll have customers reaching their tables more faster. Also, make sure you turn it off for all the other ones, for all the other waiters. See, as you can see, he only takes food, serve food, collect dishes. He doesn't greet the customers, because if you do have it where he'll greet the customers, it'll just be a waste of time when he could be taking their orders or getting the foods. So now we're going to be talking about the chefs. Not exactly the chefs, but in the kitchen. A lot of people don't know this. If you get to level 5, you want to get a refrigerator so that you can store your meat and all of that. But you're probably wondering, how can you get the meat? You get meat is by completing your milestones. So you want to level up your chopping to level 5, baking, frying, and management. You want to get all those to level 5 because then you can enter the supermarket, which, as you can see, you need levels. So the more levels you get for baking, frying, chopping, is you could get market stuff. And how this is going to play into your restaurant is going to be your menu. So if you come here to random food, you'll see your boost requirements. So you will need bread, tomatoes. So you would go over to the shopping mall or the butcher, which is all the way over here. So you could get stuff from the butcher to upgrade your foods and make them cost more. If you are struggling to get more money, I would recommend going into your menu. As you can see, I have $13 prices, but I do have a lot of stuff that is cheap. So you want anything above $12, because then they'll go for the expensive stuff first, and then over time you could upgrade these for they cost more. So anything above 12, put it on your menu. I also recommend going into your upgrades and upgrading your cart, so the waiters could get all the foods faster. I also recommend leveling them up. If you don't know how to level them up, you go to staff, or you click on them, and then there'll be a little price right here, which will upgrade them into levels. So the first time that they'll be able to use a tray is when they're level 3. Level 5 will let them use a cart, which they could hold 4 items or more. I would also recommend upgrading the backside first and your kitchen. So if you upgrade the backside, you could expand it into more place, or you could do what I did and made a whole kitchen back here. Another tip is making sure your restaurant is squared. Like, as you can see, this one was not the best pick, but it is squared. So anything that is squared, make sure you use it, because then you can make more money by putting tables and chairs inside and outside. So like outside, I have 2 tables out here, and then I have 1 big giant table here. So yeah. Another tip is, say you are cooking, right? Make sure you have this, the cooking station, away from the frying area. Because then, what will happen is if you are over there, right? So as I chop up this meal, see, all I have me go over here. And while you're cooking, right, trying to get that, you might accidentally press that. But as you can see, it's perfect space so that I don't press it. And for it's not in my way. Also, make sure you collect your daily rewards, which would spawn right over here or somewheres over in this area of your restaurant. They'll help you out a ton by giving like 100 to maybe 120 or 150. Or if you have been playing the game much longer, $200. Next thing that you should be doing too is using codes. So you press the shop here, you come here. The first code is going to be RT3. That will give you a few like $100 or $500 to start off your restaurant so that you could have more money. The next code is going to be EALYBIRD. So it's going to be early bird. And then when you submit that, you'll get 10 gems. But you're probably wondering, what are you going to do with the gems? Come over to staff. You pick one of your characters, like, let's go Hugo. Let's go into edit. As you can see, accessories. Here's where you could spend all of your gems on accessories, hats, maybe even hairstyles. Nope, just hats and accessories. So yeah. If this helped you out a lot, make sure you like, subscribe. It's free. Helps me out a ton by getting the video out to new players, and then they could basically know all the stuff they would need to know. Bye bye.